If you say these lines, you sound less confident. Hi everyone, I am Alina Rais and this video is about perfecting the way you talk with anybody. It could be a stranger. Sometimes when in our heads we think we are being polite or being humble with somebody, that can be taken for weakness, and that is what I'm going to correct here for you. Back in the days when I was a child, I remember I used to think that being polite, because I come from Lucknow and Lucknow is known for polite behavior. It's known for polite language. But over the time, I realized that there were small errors that could be corrected, doing which people would respect me more or take my words more seriously. I think this is one of the most serious issues we face in our workplaces or in our friend circles, where we feel that people probably are paying more attention to other people than they are paying to us. And we feel a little down about it. We want to correct that. We sometimes question ourselves. What is it that I am doing wrong? Why is nobody taking me seriously? I'm equally good. I'm equally talented. I am pretty good. I'm earning fine. My career is going okay. But somehow I'm unable to build that persona where people take me more seriously. Now, here are those small mistakes that you probably are making and you are not aware, because of which this small thing is happening with you. Like I told you, people often confuse weakness for politeness and respect. Have you ever walked into a meeting or a conversation feeling totally prepared, but the moment you open your mouth, you feel the power shift away from you? You speak, but people don't seem to hear you. Here's the hard truth. It is rarely about your accent. And it's not even about your vocabulary size, by the way. No, it's about qualifiers. We often use safety phrases in English to sound more polite or to avoid conflict at times. You say the same thing with a lot many words so that you don't come across as rude. You don't want to start a conflict. You don't want to be in somebody's bad books. But in the psychology of communication, these phrases act like leaks in a tire. They slowly let all the air out of your confidence until your message falls flat. If you want to command respect and sound like a leader, you need to stop sabotaging yourself. Today, I have identified most common lines that make you sound unsure, make you sound weak and nervous. Let's see how many of these you are guilty of using. A terrible huge percentage of successful people have this in their heads that they don't truly deserve where they are. It is this nagging voice in your head that keeps saying, I'm just lucky, I'm faking it. And any day now, everybody is going to find that out about me and I will come across as a fraud. And actually, I don't belong here. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is imposter syndrome. So in short, the world sees you as an expert, but you feel like a fraud. We will call these lines saboteurs. Saboteur is someone who sabotages. Sabotage means to knowingly or deliberately destroy, damage something. So, saboteur is somebody who does that damage deliberately. I've divided the saboteurs in 4 categories. 4 ways you sabotage yourself in conversations. Video is extremely important for you if you suffer from low self-esteem. Do not skip any part of it. I'm sure there is some part of this video that is going to hit you hard. Probably not the whole of it, but definitely 1 or 2 lines that you've been using a lot and you shouldn't, because it's eating up on your confidence. You undermine yourself, give away your authority. You use weak fillers that dilute your message and kill your credibility. So let's start with saboteur number 1, and we'll hit the category number 1, which is undermining your own ideas. Now tell me in the comments if there is one of these lines that you've been using a lot and you realize today. Okay, let's start with number 1, which is correct me if I'm wrong. Now, the problem with this statement is that you are literally inviting people to find flaws in your argument before you have even made it or said it to them. It's like you're handing them a red pen to grade your work. It signals, I'm probably incorrect. Okay, it shows lack of confidence. Now, here's a power alternative that you could use instead of saying, correct me if I'm wrong, which is a weak statement. My understanding is, and then you say the thing, okay? My understanding is that we should choose option number 2 because, okay? Or simply state the facts. If you're wrong, they will tell you. You don't need to invite them to do it for you. Next is, I could be wrong, but, and then you go on to say your thing. I might be wrong, but. The problem here is that this is a safety net. You're afraid of looking stupid, so you announce you might be wrong, so it doesn't hurt as much if you are. But in doing so, what you're doing is you're telling the listener, don't trust what I'm saying or don't trust what I'm about to say. How else can you phrase it? Most powerful alternative would be, here is my perspective, or from where I see it, or from where I stand, this is how I see it, or this is my opinion on it. Next is, I am not sure, but maybe. The problem? This is double hedging. Not sure plus maybe. This equals zero confidence. It makes your great idea sound like a wild guess. Now, here's a power alternative. Here is a possibility. Or, why don't we consider this approach? Now, what you've done here is you've cancelled the two words, the two phrases you should not have used in the first place, which was not sure, maybe, which totally shows your confidence is null. Instead, you're saying, here's a possibility. Hey, I have an idea, listen to me. Oh, why don't we consider this approach? Okay, next one is, please don't judge me. The moment you say this, the listener starts to judge you. It highlights your insecurity. It makes the room feel awkward. What can be a power alternative to say the same thing without using these words? This might sound unconventional, but, okay? Or here is a bold idea. This puts you in a much stronger position. People are more intrigued to hear you. They want to know your idea because you've already placed a good adjective to it. Here's a bold idea. And they're like, okay, I want to hear the bold idea. What could it be? Okay, so finally we've come to category number 2, which is giving away your authority. If you don't mind, can I say something? Why? Why? Why will they mind, first of all? Another thing is, who are they to mind? Are they somebody above you that they can mind you? And if they do mind, you will not say the thing? No, right? So this is how unintentionally you are giving away your authority. If you don't mind, can I say something? Problem is you are in the meeting or the conversation for a reason. Asking for permission to speak implies you feel lucky just to be in the room. Big mistake. What could be a power alternative? Wait for a pause. Use a hand gesture and say, I'd like to add, or building on that point. Building on that point. So somebody said something, they've just finished. Building on that point. I want to add this. And then you go on. Next is, this is simple, but destroyer. Big saboteur. If that's okay. The problem, you give an instruction or state a boundary and then immediately ask if it's okay. It turns a directive into a question. It suggests that you are struggling with the thought you're afraid of imposing. How can you put it differently? Does that work for everyone? Now, here, this is a more collaborative approach, okay? Or just simply say, let's proceed with that. That's also good. Let's proceed with that. If that's okay, no, let's proceed with that. So you anyway are going to say what was there on your mind. Now, without saying, if that's okay, you're just simply saying, let's proceed with that option. Let's proceed with this. And then you put the thought across. Okay. Next one is, I just wanted to check, ... The problem is the word just is the biggest enemy of confidence. It minimizes your existence. It makes you small. It implies, I'm sorry for taking up space and time. What could be a power alternative? Remove just. Say, I'm checking in on, and then you ask, that file that I gave you yesterday, or the thing that you were working on with me yesterday. something like that, okay? Or I'm writing to ask about, now this could be used for email, okay? I'm writing to ask about the work we were doing yesterday or the meeting we were planning for day after tomorrow, okay? Category number 3, weak fillers that dilute your message. Literally, each one of us is making one of these mistakes. Saying, I think. Now, there is this big Bollywood celebrity who's been called out so many times for using this phrase, I think, I think. Whatever she says, she uses I think before it. I don't want to name anybody, but I probably think that you already know whom I'm talking about. She uses a lot of I think, I think. Actually, I think. Actually, I think. You don't need to say I think. Of course, if you're speaking something, you're thinking it. It is coming from your mind, right? Problem is, I think is unnecessary. If you're saying it, we know you think it. Adding actually makes you sound surprised that you have an opinion or are defensive. Actually, it's like, hello, actually, I think. It's like you're being defensive. It's like you're opposing the motion, opposing what the other person just said. So avoid using I think or actually I think. Okay, you get the point. I hope you do. Remove it entirely. Instead of I think this plan is good, just simply say this plan is good. But if you have this problem, you want to qualify it, you have to add extra words to it, say I believe or I'm confident that, and then say the thing. I'm confident that. At least from your own mouth, you're telling everybody that you're confident and not unsure. I think is totally unnecessary. Next is again, now this is the most irritating one on the list. And I see people using it a lot. I don't know why they do it, and somehow I feel it is a problem that people in the South Asia are really accused of using it a lot, which is basically. Basically is just a filler word. You don't need it. It's just sitting in the sentence and making you sound really low and weak. This is a lazy filler word. Lazy, like it is a filler word for sure because it's not really adding anything to the sentence. It's not adding any value to what you're saying. It is a filler word. But on top of that, it's a lazy one. Why is it a lazy one? Because it's the most common one. It's something that you've just learned from somewhere. It's a learned habit and you're just copy pasting, copy pasting, copy pasting. Stop it. Don't use basically every time you have to say something. Please read about it. If you feel that there's something so common, how can everybody be wrong? If you feel I'm making a bold statement here, you're not very sure about it, go ahead, read about it. You will find out that I was correct. It often implies that you are oversimplifying things because the listener won't understand the detail or that you haven't prepared the full explanation. So these are just extra added disadvantages of using basically. Basic is simple. So basically is like you're summarizing something for the other person because they don't understand the full thing, or probably you don't understand the full thing and that is why you're trying to simplify things. So how can we put it differently? In essence, or the key point is, this is classy, the key point is. Of course, it's going to take some practice before it starts to flow naturally from your mouth. Next is to be honest with you. Again, a very common one. To be honest with you. The problem is this triggers a psychological red flag. The listener subconsciously asks, were you lying to me before? It lowers your credibility. Here's a power alternative. Frankly or candidly. And then just tell the truth without the warning label. Okay? Next one, again, tell me if you're guilty. I guess. Now this is a verbal shrug. Shrug is this. I guess. It sounds indifferent and unsure. Leaders do not guess, they assess. Power alternative. It seems that, or my assessment is. Here we come to the category number 4, which is the last one on the list. This is the one that kills your credibility. It attacks your credibility. First one, does that make sense? What is the problem here? The problem is this implies either you are bad at explaining or they are not smart enough to understand. It seeks validation. It shows you weak. It shows that you are not sure about the way you explain the thing, or you're doubting if they are smart enough to get your point. Here's a power alternative. What are your thoughts? Like, you've told your thing and now you push the ball into their court. What are your thoughts? Instead of asking, do I make sense, or does it make sense? What are your thoughts? Or how does that sound to you? Really nice one. How does that sound to you? They will be forced to reply to you. They will be forced into speaking their ideas once you ask them this. Next is believe me. Now, I know I told you I believe can be used, but again, I did not mean that you overuse it. Sometimes, okay, it's better than saying I think. I believe is still okay. But believe me, I've seen people doing that a lot on Instagram reels. Believe me, this movie is amazing. Believe me, you must go to that restaurant. The problem is, paradoxically, when people say believe me, we tend to trust them less. We do. Trust is earned through data and the tone that you use, not by begging for it. Power alternative. Provide the evidence. The experience shows, or the data suggests. Okay, the data suggests this restaurant rocks. Have you seen the reviews? Next is, I'll try to. I'll try to. As Yoda said, do or do not. Try builds in an excuse for failure before you even start. It tells your boss or partner you aren't fully committed. I will is better, okay? I'll try to come. I will come. I can come. Okay, something like that. Just state the thing that you believe in. All right? Now I know what you're thinking. You're looking at this list and realizing, oh no, I say 5 of these every single day. Take a deep breath. It's okay. Confidence is not a personality trait that you're born with. It's a skill that you can develop. And like any skill, like learning English grammar, it takes practice. Simple. These phrases are just habits, and habits can be broken. Okay? You don't need to memorize all of these overnight. That won't happen. Here's my challenge to you. This is something that you can do this week. I want you to pick just one phrase from this list, the one you use the most, the one that is your biggest saboteur. Catch yourself every time you're about to say it. Pause and use the alternative instead. Can you do that? I want to know which one you're choosing. Tell me in the comments below. Which of these lines are you deleting from your vocabulary today? Is it, I just wanted to check, or is it, does that make sense? Let me know down below. Remember, your words paint a picture of who you are. Make sure you're painting a confident one. If you found this helpful, hit that button so I know to make a part 2. I'll see you in the next video.